So I'm way back here. You probably won't be able to see me, but let me actually step up on here and wave my hands. Way back over here, all the way behind the pillars, behind these glass cases. We are back with some new microphones. These are from Hollyland. We have the new Lark A1. Really small, compact, affordable mic. If you want to use something like your mobile phone, this is perfect for that. And I'm super excited about this one. This is the Lark Max 2. This is the one I did see at NAB. If you guys haven't seen my NAB video from a few months ago, they debuted this one there and I was able to get a first look at it, and there's a bunch of new features on this one that I really like after doing some of my testing. With that said, let's jump right into it and just let you guys know, the audio you are hearing right now of this whole video, or at least this whole talking head portion of the video, is from the Lark M2 or the Max 2, which is actually hooked up to my camera right now, and you're hearing the microphone that is right here on my chest. So the audio, as far as this talking head portion of it, is all gonna be coming from this mic. The A1, I would say, is geared towards the content creator that is using your mobile phone. And I think Hollyland was really known for that when they came out with their first mics, those little quarter-size microphones that a lot of people would use. Again, for creators that are using your phone, which a lot more people now are just using your phone instead of larger cameras, action cameras. It's really just a simple plug and play setup. Here I have the USB-C receiver from my iPhone. All I have to do is plug this into the bottom, just like that. Here is the microphone, super small. So they went away from that quarter-size microphone and they went to something like this. It has a built-in microphone here at the top. We have one button here in the very front, which allows you to switch it from standard mode into noise canceling mode, as well as you're able to trigger the camera, your phone camera, the record button on there by pressing on it 3 times. And here at the very bottom is the charging connection. When you drop this into the case, just like that, it will then begin charging. In this case, we also have a lightning plug here. So if you have an older iPhone, you can use that, or the USB-C, as well as 2 transmitters inside of the case. Now, even though they're super tiny, as far as audio quality goes, really, really clean, 24-bit. And what's nice about this is that not only can you hook up something like this to your phone, so if you're a content creator who uses your phone a lot, you can also hook this up to anything that has a USB-C. So I was actually using this with my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 with the battery extension. There's a USB on the side, you can just plug it in there, and you can get really good wireless audio from this microphone. Next, we'll talk about noise canceling, and we do have 3 levels of noise canceling on the A1. Now, in order to change the settings of the microphone as far as noise canceling goes, and also some of the other settings, you just have to download the mobile app, which is called Lark Sound. And within the noise canceling section, there's actually 3 different modes. There's actually low, medium, or high. Then when you're out there using your microphone, if you want to use noise canceling, all you have to do is press the button here at the very bottom. It'll go from blue, it'll switch it over into green, and green means noise canceling is on. All right, now despite the A1 being a really small, tiny, portable, and affordable mic, they actually have noise canceling on this thing as well as one of the options. Now to activate noise canceling, all you have to do is click on the button here once, and I'll click it now. The blue light goes from blue to green. That means you know your noise canceling is set to on. And I have it set on medium right now, noise canceling on medium. Now let's switch it back off. Let me know if you can tell a difference. Noise canceling is off. Now I already did a test earlier and I can definitely tell a difference. So this is how noise canceling works. You're able to change the settings in the Lark app from low, medium to high. Right now it is set to medium. How does noise canceling work? What do you guys think about it on the A1? Next, let's talk about range. These are rated for up to 200 meters line of sight. And one thing I was really impressed about with this mic, even though it is the budget mic, and even compared to some of the higher end mics on there, this thing does really well even when your back is to the microphone. All right, the audio you're hearing is from the Hollyland Lark. This is the A1, small little microphone that I have right here on my chest, which you can hear right there. And I'm using the DJI Pocket 3, USB-C port on the back. Makes it super easy. All you just plug it in. It's normally what you would plug into the bottom of your phone right here at the very bottom. Now you can just plug it into the USB-C port that's on the battery pack. Well, I'm using the battery pack because the USB-C port gets moved to the back of the camera. So that's what you were hearing as far as connection goes. Now, the one thing that's nice about the Hollyland A1 is that it has a range of 200 meters. I'm gonna walk all the way to the end there and see how well it does. Now, when you have 200 meters, it's line of sight. That means I have no obstruction in between my microphone, which is right here, and my receiver, which is on the camera. So if I do turn my back right here, some other microphones might break up, but let me continuously test the mic. I'm also gonna keep spinning around right here. My back is to the camera. So let's see if there's any breakup with the audio. Now I'm also facing the camera, so we should be nice and clear here. Turning back around, my back is to the camera. And while we're doing that, let's talk a little bit more about the specs. The A1 is actually rated for 54 hours of use. Now, of course, that's gonna be using it with the battery or with the charger case, but 54 hours of use, really, really good. And also when it comes down to using it on your chest. Now, this tiny microphone only weighs 8 grams. So I'm way back here. You probably won't be able to see me, but let me actually step up on here and wave my hands. Way back over here, all the way behind the pillars, behind these glass cases. Now, the one thing that's nice about the weight of the A1 is it's only 8 grams. Now that makes it super nice because if you want to put it like me, I have it on my shirt, you want to hook it up to your collar, anything like that, you don't have any issues as far as it pulling down, like the weight of the microphone pulling down. You might have a heavier microphone, and that weight might like pull either your collar or your shirt down. This doesn't look really good in the video. If you are a solo content creator and maybe you're doing stuff like this, traveling the world and talking about hotel rooms, and you want to show the distance and have the ability to go all the way back there and have audio, this might work out for you. How does the audio sound on the A1 hooked up right here to my chest?
Next, we'll talk about price, and at $50, you get 2 different receivers. So if you have the Lightning or the USB-C, you can use either one of these plugs right here. And what's nice, like I said, I hooked it up to my DJI Pocket, works fine, and you get 2 transmitters. So if you have 2 different people on camera, or if you want to do an interview, you have 2 transmitters which you're able to use. Again, hook it up to one camera, one mic, and now you could do an interview, you could do a podcast, you could do anything like that because you have 2 transmitters. Now, even though it's small, there are a couple downsides, I would say, of the mic, but I think it kind of comes with the territory. I mean, it's super small, so you're not able to do everything that you might want to do, and that is the reason why they came out with the Max 2 or the higher end versions. You can't plug in like a 3.5 lavalier mic to it. It's just too small. No onboard storage, so you can't record to it, as well as if you want to make adjustments, you just have to open up the app. Next is jump over to the Hollyland Lark Max 2. This is for, I would say, a little bit more advanced or professional level audio. You have a lot more features, a lot more ways to adjust your settings. And we also have this right here, which you might have seen before with some other mics. We have a hot shoe adapter, which is really nice. So you don't necessarily have to use that 3.5 cable anymore. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second, but this is the Max 2. You have a receiver here on top, which will sit on top of your camera. We have a cold shoe mount here at the very bottom, which actually is built in. So you can just slide this onto your cold or hot shoe. This setup right here comes with 2 transmitters, so 2 microphones, and it also has the USB-C port. So if you wanted to use this as well on your phone or on your pocket or anything that accepts USB-C, even like your laptop, you are able to use this microphone. Like I said, we have 2 separate transmitters, which are a little bit bigger than the smaller A1, but we have a bunch of other features on here which are really nice. And one of those main features that people are excited about, 32-bit float here on this microphone, which you're listening to right now. And if you aren't familiar with 32-bit float, just think of it as higher dynamic range for audio. If you're in an environment and something gets really loud or it gets really, really soft, the microphone will then prevent it from clipping in those situations. Next feature I really like, we have onboard storage, 8 gigs of onboard storage on each mic. So if you just want to use the microphone as a standalone recorder, which I normally would do on some of my other mics like the DJI Mic 2, I use it all the time as a standalone recorder. All you have to do is press record here on the side and sync it up with a clap, or if you just want to use it to interview people, hit record and you are good to go. All the audio will then be recorded onto the actual transmitter itself. Next, we'll talk about range. Now here we have a little bit longer of a range as far as that connection from the receiver to the mic, 340 meters away, comparing that to the A1 when this is rated for about 200 meters. Again, that is line of sight in an open environment and ideal situation scenarios. However, for me, I don't normally use my microphones at too far of a distance. When it comes out to battery life, we have 11 hours rated on each one of the transmitters. And again, you can pop these into the case, and when you do charge them up, you can get up to 36 hours total. Just like the A1, we also have noise canceling features here on the Max 2, but we have a little bit more of a range as far as noise canceling goes. You can adjust it from 5 all the way up to 25 dB noise canceling on this microphone compared to the 3 settings we have here on the A1.
So right now, noise canceling is off. Now, I have the adjustment set to 15 right now. So I'm gonna turn noise canceling on, and I'm right here next to these fountains, and you'll probably be able to hear, or you probably can hear a lot of the fountain noise right now. So I'm gonna press the noise canceling on. Light goes from blue to green. Now, how does the audio sound? This is the noise canceling on. And like I said, it's set to 15 stepless right now, 15. You can go from a range from 5 to 25, but this is noise canceling on. Now let me switch it back off. From green to blue, noise canceling is off. How does the audio sound now? Standing next to these pretty cool water drops here, water fountain here in the middle of this lobby.
Next unique feature that the Max 2 offers is this, and this was really cool. When I saw it at NAB, I was like, ooh, that's a first. If you want to monitor your audio, so you want to be able to hear the audio at the same time you're out there using it and recording, you can monitor it with these headphones right here. Hollyland's rating the latency on this to be about 20 milliseconds, and it is pretty cool to be able to monitor your audio wirelessly in real time. Now, something that does make this thing a little bit more advanced of a setup versus the A1 is, of course, the ability to change all of your settings here on the receiver. Some of the options we do have is the ability to change the gain. You can also switch it from 32-bit flow to 24. You have noise canceling. Like I said, you're able to change how much noise canceling you have at multiple levels. You can also adjust the EQ. You also have the ability to turn time code on and off. And all those changes and settings you're able to see here on that screen while it's hooked up to the top of your camera. And speaking of on top of the camera, we have that hot shoe adapter, which I talked about earlier. Normally when you have a receiver on the top of your camera, you have to hook up a 3.5 to the audio jack here on the side to the receiver. Now, this adapter keeps everything nice and clean. Now, as far as some of the cons with this microphone, the first thing I looked at, I said, hey, how do I plug in a lavalier mic?
Now, the one thing I did notice on the Max 2 transmitter is that there is no 3.5 jack. There's only USB-C port, which is for software updates, firmware updates, charging, and things like that. There's no option to hook up a lav mic. However, the combo does include this right here, which is a little adapter. Look, a little cradle that allows you to hook up your transmitter to this cradle, this little adapter. Then you can now hook up a lav mic. You are hearing this is the Hollyland, this is the lav part of the lav mic that's part of the combo. So how does the audio sound coming from this right here? It's an adapter that goes to the transmitter, which of course is hooked up to the receiver on my camera. How does the audio sound coming from this lav mic?
Now, price-wise, comes in $169. So we do have a definitely bump up in price over the A1. However, A1, like I said, mostly made for solo content creators that use your phone, maybe smaller devices, pocket, action cameras like that, where you're able to use it, or something even plug it into your laptop. This right here, made to have a little bit more robust settings, options, big bag full of accessories that do come with it. So if you want the lavalier mics, you want the cradle, all that stuff, everything comes in. The wind muffs, all that stuff will come in this package. We also have 32-bit float, which is pretty much standard now on the more professional systems. And overall, pretty happy with Hollyland, and this update definitely is a nice set of mics here, depending on which way you want to go. Let me know what you guys think about these new mics from Hollyland. Again, you've been listening to this microphone right here on my chest. How does it sound? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. This is Ultra Stock Steal with FlytPath.com. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.